You know, thanks for the podcast, but it just it's so funny. I find it funny that Ramaphosa goes out to these conferences and or summits, and he cries out that we are not beggars, blah blah blah. He wants people to walk the talk, you know, but he's not doing that in his own country.
It is a story that sounds like the plot of a Hollywood thriller. Imagine this. A group of robbers break into a farm. What do they discover? $4 million in cash hidden in the furniture. But here's the plot twist. This money was actually black money that was stashed there. So what does the owner of the farm do? He recovers some of the loot and instead pays the robbers to keep quiet. And now let me tell you the bigger plot twist. The owner of this farm is South Africa's president, Cyril Ramaphosa.
We are not scared. We're going to come for them. We are 44 members of parliament. There will be no rest for Cyril in this house.
Let me tell you a short story. Thieves went to steal in certain farm of a certain president of a country in Africa, and when they went there, they were not expecting to find money. They were going to steal just like normal theft. And when they went there, they found a lot of money packed somewhere under the couch, like this one. Yeah, no, not our ground. A seat like this one. Money was inside in foreign dollars. Those thieves or the robbers, they were caught, and the president told them they were given like $10,000 each, and they were told to keep quiet.
Right.
What does it tell you? Was that legit money? And when this president was asked where was this money from, he said that this money was from me selling. I am a farmer, I am a businessman, and it's from the sales of my farm's products.
Okay.
And he was asked, why is it in foreign currency? If you are, let me tell you, that president is from South Africa. The current president of South Africa, Ramaphosa. Now, a lot of things has happened, and according to, I've been talking about Ramaphosa, I've been talking about South Africa for a long time. I've been making video about Ramaphosa, about South Africa, and there's a video where Ramaphosa was telling the white people or the West that we as Africans, we are not beggars. And it's a video I did reaction on it, but there's this one South African who told me that, you know what, I want to tell you something about Ramaphosa because I love the video, I love what he said, but that is not who he is. Yeah. Now, this was the video I did about Ramaphosa, about him telling the West that we are not beggars.
I played a key role as chair of the African Union during the COVID period. We felt like we were beggars when it came to vaccine availability. The Northern Hemisphere countries had bought all the vaccines in the world, and they were hogging them. And at times it felt like they would just be droppings from the table, that yes, we will give you that and that. And let me tell you something that generated a lot of resentment. We were clear that we are not going there as beggars. We are not going to ask for a favor to both Ukraine and Russia. We were going there to say, open up the Black Sea Channel. Africa should never be seen as a continent that needs generosity. We want to be treated as equals.
Now, after I did this video, I have to speak to people from South Africa so that to get this, the reality, because I am in Kenya, but in Africa, but the reality from the ground. And I talked to one South African and he told me this about Ramaphosa. Listen to this video and then we're going to react about it.
Thanks for the podcast, but it's so funny. I find it funny that Ramaphosa goes out to these conferences or summits, and he cries out that we are not beggars, blah blah blah. He wants people to walk the talk, you know. But he's not doing that in his own country. He's not. Last a couple of months ago, if not years or year, he promised a group of people, a town in some certain town in another province. Sorry about that. Uh, 1 million houses, and the residents that lives there in that area, they are less than 1 million. They are less than 1 million, and he promised them houses, 1 million houses. That's one. The land, the space that can occupy those people cannot uh, amount or gives a space of 1 million houses. Yet he claims he's going to give them houses, 1 million houses. So I just, it's so funny. He he doesn't want to be played by the north, the west, and the north, all of those people there. But he's fooling the people in his own country. What is he moaning about? Because what he does in his country, they are doing it to Africa. Those white people are doing it to Africa, and the African leaders are doing it to us. It's so funny. And during COVID, there were millions of dollars in Ramaphosa's house that went missing. If you would Google or search whatever search you use, even on YouTube, just search for Phala Phala. Phala Phala saga. You'll understand what I'm talking about. During COVID, there was a bunch of money that was hidden in his couch that went missing. Dollars. We don't use dollars in South Africa. We use rands. It was American dollars. They just wanted money for themselves. What he's moaning about and crying about is just to get that cash on his pocket. During COVID, we received something like 600 billion, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's somewhere around there, because I even said, you know what? Ramaphosa could give every South African 1 million rand. Each and every South African from that money, he can give 1 million rand. And out of that 1 million rand, he will still be left with almost 50% of what, more than just 50% of what we received as from the World Bank, you know. And during COVID, nothing. Okay, not really nothing, but what we received, or in terms of the vaccines and PPEs that were needed to be distributed. You won't believe, my friend, if I tell you it's something. It was not even amounting to 1 million what he spent. Honestly, it was okay. Put aside the vaccination, but when it comes to PPEs in each province, we've got 9 provinces that makes up the whole country. A province, a PPE for each province, it was not even 1 million. If I'm standing here to be corrected, eh? I doubt it didn't even amount to that, to 1 million. Let alone the vaccine, because the vaccine, I'm not sure how much it was and how many people needed it, you know, in each province. So yeah, I just think he's just moaning there and saying, hey, there was a 100 billion that was promised each and every year. we're not receiving. Yeah, he's not receiving. He's thinking about his pocket. That's what I'm just hearing at the moment. Not that he wants to do something better. No, 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 no.
Wagwan kings and queens, welcome back. How are you?
Very fine.
Very fine, you're very fine.
Very fine, as you can see.
Today we are talking about South Africa.
Yeah.
We are talking about Ramaphosa. We are talking about corruption.
Yeah.
We are talking about promises that African leaders give us when, during election.
Yeah.
A lot of promises. Our presidents have given us a lot of promises.
Sure.
And there is a number of promises that Ramaphosa gave to the people of South Africa. This is 6 years ago.
Okay.
I don't think if he has accomplished even one of them. Okay? That's promises. Corruption. There is this scandal called Phala Phala. Phala Phala is a South African word. I don't know what it means. Tell me in the comment section. Phala Phala. The scandal was about the money. I think it was about the COVID-19 money. You remember during the COVID-19?
Yeah.
There's some money countries were given by World Bank.
Yeah.
And South Africa was given money.
Yeah.
And this money was stolen by Ramaphosa. Okay? That is about corruption.
Okay.
In general, that's about it. And you have heard what this South African has said.
Yeah.
This South African has said that whatever speech Ramaphosa gives out there is not actually what is happening in the ground.
Okay.
Because on promises side, he promised some people million houses.
Okay.
Like, when I'll be in power, again, I'll give you million houses. Each one of you in this town, I'm going to build houses.
South African Ruto.
South African Ruto.
Yeah.
Up to now, there's no houses.
Okay.
He has promised jobs. He has promised to give back land to those people that were, their land were taken during apartheid and colonization.
Yeah.
Up to now, I don't think if there is someone who has been given back the land. And this is the largest thing, is one of the bigger picture that's happening in all countries of Africa.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
All countries of Africa is happening the same.
Yeah.
You see our president here, what's happening in Kenya,
Yeah.
what's happening in Uganda. Tanzania, they are even cutting down the oppositions.
Yeah.
So it's just a bigger picture. What is the way forward of Africa? What will it? Because if we think it's only Kenya, we get a story from Ghana.
Okay.
We get a story from Ghana, another one from Nigeria. Now we are talking about South Africa. First of all, let's talk about Phala Phala. Let's talk about Phala Phala. The money was given out, and this guy from South Africa is telling me that even Ramaphosa could just take 1 million each and give to every citizen.
Yeah.
He could even remain with a lot of money.
A lot of money, yeah, sure.
What is the way forward of Africa and choosing leaders, corruption, how we're handling these promises? What do you think?
Africa has been Africa since then. And we've been talking about this not once, not twice. We've been talking about the issues of Africa all the times. Like, I don't think if we've ever gone to more than, almost all of our episodes been talking about Africa.
And yeah, sure.
And we've said this time and again, we shall repeat the same things because we only have one way to realize ourselves as the people. Okay?
And the way is the African way.
Yeah, the African way. Because Africa has been influenced. Okay? It's not the people of Africa who has the problem, but the leaders, the politicians of Africa are the ones with a bigger problem. Because the influence is actually scattering, and every single person, every single leader, they are trying to actually partake their portion. Okay?
Haven't they done enough? Haven't you done enough?
It's not about doing enough.
Thieves
don't get tired.
Oh my!
Because even let's take for example, if today you have found a deal of maybe stealing in a bank, then you're like telling yourself, this is my last time. I'm not gonna do it again. If I manage to do it today, I'm not gonna do it again. When you're a thief, you're just a thief. You'll still do it again and again.
Phala Phala good.
Okay. And
by the way, that issue was on 2022.
The issue
of Phala Phala.
The issue of Corona, it's not okay. We might be talking about maybe Ramaphosa, but we have many other leaders. Like almost every single
Even in
leader.
Kenya.
Even in Kenya.
The money of
was
the
stolen.
corona money was swindled.
Okay? Money was stolen. And Africa is getting to a point of no return. Are you getting my point? We don't have to ask the leaders to change, the politicians to change. Maybe we don't have to ask the politicians to turn away from the ways they're in right now. We have to revive the content.
How are we going to do that whenever we are doing like the Gen Z protest happened, but the leaders or not leaders, the politicians find a way to turn it upside down?
It's very
how are we gonna do it now?
It's very easy, but again, it's very hard.
We have like someone like Julius Malema.
Yeah.
Julius Malema is a very strong opposition leader.
So we should be talking
with,
we should
with a high vocal, okay?
Yeah.
But he has the best interest of the people of South Africa at heart.
Sure.
But he never get chance. In Uganda,
Yeah.
the opposition leader
We have Bobi Wine.
never get chance.
He never gets chance.
In Kenya,
Yeah.
never get chance.
Exactly.
In Peter Obi of Nigeria,
Yeah.
he was best, and everyone was Peter Obi. But during election, we got the sleeping president. God damn it!
The problem is, when we have a leader who is in power, a corrupt politician who is in power, this guy, there's something that can really make you stay to a place or maybe retain a place for a very long time is power.
Power.
The moment you got power, you got everything. Okay? Power can get you anywhere you want to get as long as you are on the throne. The moment you're on the throne, there is nothing you cannot do. Okay? And so you find out that if we are looking forward to revive Africa, let me not single out a nation, maybe Kenya or South Africa. Let me talk about Africa. If we want to revive Africa, we need to, it's very easy. It's also, again, very hard. But, sometimes liberation doesn't come easily.
Do you say
it needs consistent?
We go it junta way, like Burkina Faso?
Going it junta way depends. It depends with a certain country. It depends with a certain leadership. For example, junta way happened in Burkina Faso because we had someone who who had a heart of doing that.
But not all junta are good.
Look at Kenya, for example.
Yeah.
In a country like Kenya, you find out even the army leader, or maybe the leadership of maybe let's talk about the military, has also been pocketed. Okay, it's very
leaky.
Yeah, it's difficult unless you find someone. In Burkina Faso, it was very easy to happen. You know why? Because we had a leader who was independent, who was willing to do right, not to do what he's being asked to do. The reason of willing to do right is what made Burkina Faso go the junta way.
So what's the way forward? Because Ramaphosa has been here.
Yeah.
First term, okay? He promised. He did the corrupt thing he did in 2022. And now this year, he was voted in again. And Julius Malema was thrown out. And Julius Malema was so vocalist and to bring change in Africa, to bring change in South Africa. How will we manage to convince people that we need to put someone who has the interest of the people?
Listen to me. It's not about convincing people. It's not about convincing people. Let's take an example of our country, Kenya. Do you have to convince people to vote for the right person come 2027? Do you have to? Who hasn't seen enough? Like in this country today.
Haven't you seen enough?
Who hasn't seen enough? Who hasn't gone through all sheets and all? Like we have seen everybody, even children will tell you.
Yeah.
The president is a bad guy.
Must go.
Okay? So everybody has seen enough. We don't have to educate people or tell people on which kind of a person to bring in to the power come 2027.
So
these people, most of the times, we don't vote in these guys. That's why I began by saying, the moment you're on the throne, there is nothing you cannot do.
Okay.
If Ramaphosa wants to take himself back to power, even another term, he will still do that. Not unless the citizens wake up and they decide. People have power; they can do anything. If people want to throw him out, they can throw him out any minute. Okay. So we ourselves, we need to realize that power belongs to us and power is in our hands.
Hey,
simple as that.
South Africans, what happened to Phala Phala, and what was the way forward? This story, like the story of Phala Phala, and how it was this guy was really the president right that time, and even Julius Malema told Ramaphosa, you have to step down because our parliament is not for goons, not for kidnappers, not for everyone. But it happened. He was re-elected again. Let's talk about promises. Promises that presidents give, or the leaders or the politicians gives during election. I promise you that I will. Everyone will have free internet. I promise you I will build 10,000 roads everywhere. I promise you that I'll build I'll give million houses to the people when you vote me in. Now, Ramaphosa, according to this South African who I spoke to him, he told me he promised people houses. But some years have passed down. People are still waiting. Countries from the West,
Okay.
their politics is not about promises.
Okay.
Because they know and they believe we have to build the economy of our country. We have to have good roads, better education. Even when you hear the politics of USA right now, it's not about I will build roads, I will build schools.
Those are things
those are things that they did in 19 BC.
A long time ago.
But the black politics, why are we circled in the promise of roads, schools, medical, water? Africa is very rich. We have water underground, fresh water. We have freshwater lakes. We have lakes. If we find a way to build, to generate water everywhere, but you find some areas they don't have water. Now they will keep promising. What is the problem?
The problem is
what is the problem with the psychology or minds of the African leaders?
The problem
are they not seeing these problems?
The problem is not about the African leaders when it comes to issues of promises and coming back with the same words again and again. It's because of the education status of people. We're talking about literacy here. We're not talking about like the promises they give. These people, they've educated themselves to an extent they know how to play with the intelligence of the people. Okay? So you find out, like for example, we've been promised a lot of things. Okay? With these leaders, these politicians. They've promised a lot of things. Some things they are promising, personally, when you look at them, you just feel, even your instincts tell you, this guy cannot do this. This guy cannot do this. But he keeps on promising.
But
okay?
Let me ask you. Let me tell you something before you continue.
Yeah.
Most of the things they are promising is very easy. Do you remember Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast came to Africa. He built in Kenya like 300 wells.
Okay.
Within some few weeks. This guy, a politician, has 10 years to power. Even one, he won't build.
Bro, a politician wants to get out of the throne after he has collected enough that will run him, his family, his generation, for as long as it can. Okay? And therefore, sometimes we feel like it's they need to use like a very few cash to build a certain road. Okay? But to them, they are looking forward to actually sustain their generation for as long time as possible. Are you getting my point? And a politician would come to you today and tell you, I'm going to build a 10,000 kilometers road. Okay? If you vote me in power. And then we vote them in power. When they get to power, they build 2 kilometers when it's about when they're about to end their term limit. And then they will come again to campaign with the same narrative, and they will tell you, I had started building and I built 2 kilometers. So if you vote me in again, I'm going to finish the remaining 8,000 kilometers. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
And then you feel like this guy is telling the truth. And so the guy is playing with your intelligence. Okay? They know how to play with the intelligence of the people for them to be voted into the government. And so to avoid this, do not actually look at the promises they are being promising. We shouldn't be looking, or we shouldn't be focusing on the promises. Okay? Look at someone when he's not in power. What is he doing?
Sure.
Like, for example, right now, we are seeing a lot of things. We are seeing potential leaders.
Morara Gebaso.
We have many potential leaders we are seeing.
Kasamwe.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
But come 2027, we will go back and vote into power people who are not supposed to be in power.
Let me tell you something about potential leaders.
Yeah.
There is this someone from Kenya called Samuel Makora. Samuel Makora has been vocalist with suit, speaking big English. Mr. President William Ruto, you must go home. And then he was given a mic addressing a lot of people there at Bomas about the impeachment.
Okay.
And I think they did this, like, Mako, take this, say.
Okay.
And then he went. He was like, Ruto must go, Gachagua must go, kufa makanga, kufa dereva. And then he was given a mic, was like, Gachagua must go. And then, because he never said Ruto must go or both must go.
Yeah.
He just omitted the one for Ruto and said Gachagua must go.
Okay.
Now, why I've said so is we see potential leaders.
Okay.
But something happening in Africa, you are given something small and you change. And the thing that you have been given cannot even sustain you for 1 year, even for a few months. Why do you think African people, and this has been happening since the day of colonization.
Okay.
Our brothers, black brothers, some of them were given small things and they sold people during slavery.
Sure.
They sold the lands to the white people because of this small thing, the leaky. Why do you think, like, how is our brain just that small? And it's being said like Africans or black people are the first people on the face of the earth. But in black countries, it's where we have a lot of corruption. Even Chinese are telling black people that black people are the most stupid people in the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Even there's a video I did when a Chinese was telling a black man, like, you guys, you are very lucky.
Okay.
You are colonized, yes, I accept that. But the colonizers were building houses, like strong houses.
Okay.
Like if you see the archives in Nairobi, Kenya, it was built long time ago.
Yeah.
When the colonizers were building roads, it was road will survive for very long time. When they are building rails, this Chinese was asking this black man, did you not learn? Did you not learn? Now China has come, has surpassed you. Now China is helping you to build roads.
Yeah.
And yet you are the people who are there. You imagine black people were the people who are working on the ground. They knew everything. What happened? I need to find one old guy who was that time during colonization to tell me what was happening those days. Because I find it awkward when we as South Africa, we are still fighting to asking for like fertilizer. There's a situation in South Africa, fertilizer. South Africa has a company of fertilizer, but they are still going to import fertilizer. What is happening? It's something that I need you to tell me in the comment section. So I was telling you, when you are looking for the leaders, we are seeing leaders out here, potential leaders, but they just change. And blink of an eye, they change. When they meet one politician, given something small, they start speaking another language. Do you think we will ever wake up from this sleep that we had right now? Or do you think that some days to come, we will be recolonized again?
Being recolonized, it's going to be very easy. If we are going to continue in this state, we shall be colonized again. Because we are weakening ourselves. We are weakening our potentials. We are weakening our capabilities. We are weakening our minds. We are weakening our intelligence. And it's putting us in a threat, in a very big threat. So you find out, these people sometimes, whatever is happening in Africa is not actually, it's not Africans themselves, not the people of Africa themselves, not the black people themselves, okay? And what is happening in Africa right now, it's the Westerners are very happy to see us not being organized, or maybe not doing the right things, fighting, and actually participating in corruption and being like, they are very happy.
They are very happy
because the moment the more we get the more we continue in this state, the easier it becomes for them to recolonize us. Because they will come with they will create a solution to a certain problem we are going through, and then they will come with that solution. So that we can be able to again run for them for the solution.
Create a disease.
Okay. So
Create
we
a
are-
vaccine.
Yeah, you create a disease, you create a vaccine. A lot of things, when you're talking about the colonizers, when they were building roads, when they were setting up buildings, and they lasted for a very long time, it's because they were living here in Africa. Okay?
Yeah.
And it had never come to their mind that one time, or maybe one day, it will get to a point when they will leave Africa. In their minds, they were in Africa to stay, and Africa was one of their places to be.
Yeah.
Okay? And so they were doing those things as the same way they could do to their homes. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
And so that is why they used to do it in a best way. Not because they were good. Are you getting my point? It was like their home. It was a place they had come to stay. That is why they did, they could do those kind of good works. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
And therefore, it's not about us. That is, according to me, it's about the Westerners. A lot of things, the things to do with corruption, the things to do with false promises, the things to do with bad development, lack of infrastructure, like the issues of not setting up our countries well, the issue of mismanaging finances, it never started with us ourselves.
But this money, this Phala Phala money that Ramaphosa stole,
Listen,
where was Westerners inside there?
how did it started? Because I believe he wasn't a bad guy. The first time he wanted to be the president. He came with a good heart. Even himself,
Let them tell us.
even himself,
Yeah.
when he wanted to be the president, I believe he had a good heart.
If you are from South Africa.
like for example, you've just spoken
During the time of Jacob
Zuma.
Zuma,
You've talked about.
during the time of Jacob Zuma,
Can I tell you where
Ramaphosa
things-
was a opposition
Can I
leader.
tell
Okay?
you, he was an opposition leader.
So I want you to tell him in the comment
And
section
if he
you
was
are
an
from South
opposition
Africa.
leader, that means he was fighting the government.
If you are from South Africa, I want you to tell me during when Ramaphosa was not in power, which kind of a guy was it? Because right now, whatever he's doing, a lot of people don't like it, and some people love it. He was re-elected. I don't believe if he was re-elected by, in a right way, in Africa. But tell me in the comment section, which kind of a guy was Ramaphosa?
Let me tell you where things go wrong. Things go wrong the moment you test something.
Test power.
Yeah.
Test power.
You test power, you test money, not only power. Because we've just spoken about Kaskazini Kasamweli, the Makore guy. The guy was good. He was fighting. The guy was speaking everything that Kenyans wanted to hear. Okay? The guy was on the side of people until when he was squeezed a little bit.
Even
That is when he changed.
we named him Tom Mboya Jr.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We even
Little did I know he is Vincent Mboya, not Tom Mboya.
We even fought people who tried to fight him. Are you getting my point? But the moment he was given something, that is where things go wrong. That is where things went wrong. Okay? So the moment you test the waters, that is where things will change. Are you getting my point?
I'm getting your point.
People are not naturally bad. Okay? Nobody was created bad.
Politicians are naturally bad.
Not naturally. Not naturally.
I think they lied a lot when they were young.
Not naturally. Bro, not naturally. Listen. When Ruto wanted to get to government, everybody thought Ruto was good. But he was bad.
Who thought?
He was really bad. People thought, personally.
Someone.
People who didn't know.
Let me tell you, someone who has sold only eggs and has a lot of money.
Like a lot
will you trust him?
You know the problem is.
I tried.
We
By
have
the way, I tried selling eggs sometimes.
We had people whose their intelligence cannot be actually entangled with. Okay, but we have people who can't. Like for example, you knew him from the beginning because you have known Ruto for a very long time.
Yeah.
There are people who didn't know him. You could walk on the villages and maybe in town somewhere and you'd hear people saying, "This guy is going to change our lives. The way he's talking, the way he's acting is going to change our lives." Okay? Our president, our opposition leader, Raila Odinga here in Kenya, nobody knew he would ever get to government and make the issues that have been happening get forgotten just like that. Okay? So people change on the way. The moment you test power, you change. Nobody was created bad. I'm telling you the truth.
Speaking on that time you have said about Ruto, people are saying that the way he speaks.
Yeah.
Ramaphosa, gave speech to the West, telling them that we are not beggars.
Okay.
And this that the speech caught attention, and people are like, "Wow, good speech." What happened? Even right now, a president, even Ruto, you hear his speeches.
Okay.
He goes there and tell good speeches like, you know, Africa, we need to unite, we need to come together, we need to fight back. And then the second morning, you see him on an aeroplane going to, you know, US.
Yeah.
Being
There was,
a
even a
puppet.
time, there was even a time when he said he cannot, like, he's not going to be, they don't want to be ruled by the Westerners.
What do you think? Why do you think these people give good speeches but actions? Actions.
The problem is these people are greedy.
Greedy.
Greediness. I've spoken about greediness all the times. I'll talk about it again. I'll repeat again about greediness. That is what is killing the people of Africa very much.
Greediness.
And
tribalism.
And a white person, not even tribalism, leave alone tribalism. Leave alone tribalism. Greediness is eating people. And a white person has realized a black person likes something. Whenever a black person has been given something, or maybe when he has been shown something, you know what I'm talking about, he will change.
Let me tell you about
Out of 100%, a few people won't. Like out of 10, maybe 2.
About giving something.
Yeah.
AU, African Union,
Yes.
is a union that needs to take care of Africa.
Okay.
It's a union that needs to, whenever there's a war in certain country in Africa, they need to come together and make sure it's stopped.
Right.
It's a union that needs to cater and take care of the people of Africa.
Right.
But according to my intelligence,
Yes.
to what I'm hearing out here, is that African Union is just a tool used by the white people,
You see?
to control Africa. They have been given something. It's a board, it's a tool, it's a bus, it's a vehicle that's used to drive the white people around.
Okay.
You know, you got that?
I got it.
So it's tricky.
Very tricky. We need to realize what we are.
And that's why
And it's going to take a very long time.
that's why you see
It's not
Burkina
gonna be
Faso,
easy.
Burkina Faso, Mali, and the other country, Niger,
Yeah.
they have removed themselves from this ECOWAS, from Western bloc.
Okay.
I think it was a very good decision.
Yes, sure.
Because the ECOWAS, it is being a vehicle for the French people.
Okay.
You know? I think we have a lot of work to do as the people of
A
Africa.
bigger problem is rolling around.
In today's video, we are talking about South Africa. We're talking about Ramaphosa. I had a South African on my video, and he said whatever Ramaphosa is doing is that it's just giving promises, fake promises. He's not doing anything for the ground. Fake promises and everything, corruption here and there. And I've showed you the promises like the Ramaphosa gave 6 years ago up to now. I don't think if one of them is actualized. And there's a lot of things happening in South Africa. I hope South Africans will tell me in the comment section, will educate me. If there's something I've said that is not right, tell me in the comment section. Please educate me. I have my email address there. It's called kenyanbeast1@gmail.com. And we have my friend here and my brother. Say your name.
Levimed.
Levimed TV.
Yeah.
My number is in the description. You can discuss with me. Let's take Africa in front. Let's preach the gospel of Africa. Let's preach the gospel of unity. Let's see what South Africans have for us in the comment section. We are waiting, eagerly waiting. Until next episode, peace
Be with you.
be with you.